Nehru University. So, Professor, some experts are saying that India in recent weeks has modified its stance on the Ukraine crisis without intending to anger Russia. How do you make of that comment?
I agree with you. There is definitely an evolution in India's proactive neutrality as far as Ukraine crisis is concerned. We are now into third month of Ukrainian crisis, and we have noticed that India's neutral position began by expressing concern, then deploring, then regretting, and then India moved forward to say that national sovereignty and territorial integrity should be respected. And the last was the Boka massacre, where India had asked, not only condemned the massacre, but also asked for independent investigation of what happened in Boka city of Ukraine. So it's a dynamic neutrality. It's not a static neutrality, which means as the situation is evolving, India has constantly been likewise responding to the ground situation. But more important, India has constantly been in touch with all important leaders that have stakes or influence in putting an end to this conflict. And India also keeps working in terms of supplying humanitarian assistance. So it's a proactive neutrality where India finds itself not siding with either side, but finding itself totally engaged in resolving this conflict.
Well, India's neutral position on the Ukraine crisis has been targeted by a lot of Western countries. How has Delhi defended this to Western partners? What are the implications of that approach for India?
Definitely, if the conflict is continuing for a long period of time, it makes it challenging for India to explain its neutrality to various stakeholders, particularly United States and its friends were not very happy with India's continuing neutrality, especially India's abstentions from all UN Security Council and UN General Assembly resolutions with regard to Ukraine. But over a period of time, I think the conversations have moved from public and media to closed-door conversations. And particularly Russia has been far less vocal about its concerns about India's neutrality. But definitely the 3 months that we are now running into of this episode, India has had several opportunities to explain its position. And India, therefore, is not going to side with either United States or Russia completely, but would continue to be neutral, which is a natural position, which is historically we used to call non-alignment, and now we call it the proactive neutrality in case of Ukraine crisis. I assume that there is a greater appreciation on both sides, the US and its European allies, and also Russia, appreciating India's position. Though they continue to make efforts to see if India can be pushed closer to United States, could be pushed to making far stronger criticism of Russia. That effort is continuing, but likewise, I think a greater appreciation of India's neutrality is visible now, both in the United States and Europe.
Okay, thank you so much for your insights, Professor Swaran Singh from the Jawaharlal Nehru University.